One major point of contention with fans in the Alien universe is the statement from Ridley Scott where he explained that it was David who created the Xenomorph. If we have any evidence from the movies that goes to the contrary, it's gotta be from the mural in the headroom and Prometheus. Today I want to take a closer look at that mural to see why it's there and what it means for the origin of the aliens. Upon first inspection of the mural, it's pretty easy to see the alien-like creature in the center of the image. It's clearly posed in the same position as someone who is being crucified. We can see what looks like some kind of liquid underneath the alien, almost like it's rising out of or sinking into the pool below. This liquid looks too much like the active black goo from the urns to me to be a coincidence. Down at the feet of the creature on either side, one can see some kind of humanoid, most likely engineers, laying back with a kind of large facehugger on top of it. Some fans have noted that there appears to be a crown around the alien's head in the image here, yet in the normal low light settings in which we see the mural in the film, along with better depth of the 3D image, it looks more like a standard deacon or ultramorph. Now let's imagine for a second that this alien does have a head crest. If so, then it's possible that this alien is also a queen. A few other things to note on the mural. We can see that the alien looks to be bipedal, so we can assume that the host creature was bipedal as well. I think this goes in line with having engineered DNA being used in the mix. I already mentioned the position of crucifixion of the alien, and I think this goes hand in hand with the theme of sacrifice that we see with the engineers. It's also my belief that the two engineers at the alien's feet have sacrificed themselves to the facehuggers in order to create a deacon or ultramorph alien. These facehuggers may look strange, but those are actually early designs of the facehuggers as done by H.R. Giger. They were later redesigned to look more like the ones we see in the movies. It could be, however, that these facehuggers are just some kind of engineer version or a proto-facehugger, if you will. Many of us have heard of the ultramorph alien. An ultramorph is an alien that hatched from an engineer host instead of a human host. These ultramorphs would be similar to their xenomorph cousins, except they were much, much larger. Little is known if there were any other main differences, as we only have concept art of the ultramorphs. The reason I bring up the ultramorph is that in the early drafts of Prometheus, the ultramorph was going to show up in the film, but after many script changes, it eventually evolved into the deacon. I see this mural as a depiction of engineer sacrifice and able to create the ultramorph or deacon. It's possible that the engineers worship this creature as a higher life form, or even that they look to it as a cleanser of worlds, a tool to be used to reset life on a given planet. To me, this shows that the engineers have already been making alien-like creations from the black substance. David had learned of their ways in the Alien Covenant prologue, The Crossing, and he was simply building upon their work. If you're one of the fans that see a crown on the alien in the mural and believe it to be a queen, then David wasn't even the first one to try to make an alien queen either. Artist Stephen Messing, who made the mural for the film, had this to say about it. Another set that I worked on was known as the Headroom. This was a ceremonial room that contained hundreds of ampules beneath a giant sculpture of an engineer's head. Julian Caldro did an amazing job working out all the details for this environment and created the set drawings. The final set was built at full scale and was incredible to walk on. I also sculpted the altar area for this set that paid homage to Giger. It's a relief sculpture hanging from the wall, and it has an impression of an alien form with flowing structures surrounding it. There are a lot of Easter eggs in this sculpture, including several hidden Giger motifs that were not used in the original film. Messing then goes on to say, the alien/ultramorph mural on the far wall hints at the engineer's reverence for some kind of supreme being. The xenomorph in my mind was a descendant of the ultramorph. It was the pure form of this kind of virus that the engineers had created. There are a lot about sacrifice, so in my mind there was in the past an engineer who sacrificed himself to the virus, and it created this horrific creature, this being that was going to eradicate planets. It was like a parasite that would destroy the planet, and then they, the engineers, could start over and rebirth it. And they kind of worshipped it, and you see this relief sculpture where it's almost a religious sculpture. As the virus spread and got polluted, the xenomorph was an evolutionary descendant that was not as pure. So basically, he saw the engineers as creating the goo as a life-creating virus-like substance. It could tear down and rebuild matter, mutating it. At some point in the past, an engineer sacrificed himself in order to create the first Ultramorph. This alien would then wipe out entire planets. The engineers would worship this creation, however, it would lead to their eventual demise, as it sounds like Messing believed that it was this Ultramorph that was responsible for killing the engineers on LV-223. So what are your guys' thoughts on the alien mural in Prometheus? Do you see the creature as a deacon or an Ultramorph, or do you see a standard Xenomorph in the image? With the brighter shot of the mural, do you see a crown on the head of the alien, and if so, could this be a type of engineer-made alien queen? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, and as always, thanks for all your likes, comments, and subscriptions. Take care, and I hope to see you next time.